And sometimes it's something small. Sometimes it's something free. Sometimes it's something that takes 2 more minutes just for you to stand out amongst everyone else. Hey y'all, hey, it's Khameleon K, and today I am talking about how to turn your side hustle into a full-time income as a single mom. Now, if you're watching this video, then maybe you already have a side hustle, or maybe you're just curious. But if you already have a side hustle and you just haven't really quite figured out how to turn that side hustle into a full-time income, maybe you have sporadic clients, or maybe it's due to the financial fear and the fact that you have children depending on you and you aren't stable enough with your side hustle to feel like you can make it a full-time income. And if any of those things are the case, then this video is for you. First things first, you need to manage your time and time block. Now, whether you have a 9-to-5 in addition to your side hustle or not, because of course if you have a 9-to-5, then that time that you are working and that time commuting to work, if you do, leaving work, maybe picking up the kids, whatever, that's something that you do, you do Monday through Friday. Those are things that are obligations, and during those time windows they never change. Like for now, they aren't changing, right? So you would put that into your calendar or time block that specific thing or things like that. But one thing I think is very important, and I've mentioned this in other videos, that I feel like people kind of overlook, is to pencil in the time that you will be spending with your child, because you can unintentionally overlook the fact that you aren't spending enough time. So if you obligate that time, just like you time block your 9-to-5, you can obligate time to your children, dedicated time to your kids, whether that's 3 hours on the weekend, reading a book every night, whatever that looks like for you. Just make sure that you have that dedicated time to your children, that you aren't missing out on that time with them throughout the week, because you can kind of get lost in life, and you don't want to get so lost in life that you aren't spending cherished time that you're gonna look back and regret not spending that time with your children at a later date. So basically what I'm saying is to time block that into your schedule as well. Then we also have errands that we have to run, grocery, maybe you do it weekly, maybe you do it monthly, whatever that looks like for you. Put that in your calendar, so then that way that time is already accounted for. Self-care, right? Now, after all of those things that you're obligated to do and those things that you need to do are already out the way, the next thing that you want to do is, now you look at your side hustle. Where in your schedule will that fit? Where will you be dedicating time to that? If you really look at everything you do in a day that you have to do versus the things that you mindlessly do, such as scrolling through a social media app or watching movies, and I'm not saying you can't enjoy life, but if you look at all of those things, you'd realize just how much time you actually have in a day. People always say they don't have time, or they don't think that they have time for this and that. But if you really broke down the things that you have to do and that you're obligated to do versus the things that you're just mindlessly doing and kind of killing time unintentionally, then you'll see just how much time you really do have in a day. So treat all of these things that I'm talking about, and I'm saying to time block, treat them like a meeting. If you were showing up for somebody else, you would be there, right? So show up for yourself in the same way. Show up for your children in the same way. So I don't care if it's a self-care thing that you're dedicating to yourself. Make sure you show up for that. Make sure you do that. Dedicate that time to that and get it done. You have to do something with your kids, or you have some specific day to spend with them, time to spend with them. Fine, do that with them and make sure that they have your undivided attention during that time. And then whatever is set aside for your side hustle that you would like to turn into your full-time income, give that the same time and undivided attention as well. Have people respect that time. Let them know that's what it is, and that is the time that you're dedicating to what will be your future. Next, I want to say, be so good at what you do that people have a hard time leaving. Once they experience your services, once they experience how you do business, how you serve them, all of that, be so good at it that they have a hard time leaving you. I'm talking be so good that you know that even if they try somebody else, or even if they interviewed with somebody else, or whatever the case may be so confident in what you're offering that you know that you're the number one choice. Now, there are other things that factor into that, because it could be price, it could be location, you know, things like that. But aside from that, let's take all of that off the table, because even with that, sometimes people will travel to you because you're that good, or even people will be willing to pay that higher price because you're that good. So nurture your skill set, get there. I know that does take time, but nurture it, whatever that may be for you, and just do your best to perfect your craft. Next, make yourself and your services invaluable or unique. They will call this the unfair advantage. I know you may have heard that term, the unfair advantage. So this isn't quite what I was just talking about, where I talk about you being good at what you do. This is more about what you're offering as far as your competition, right? So I hate to say that, I hate to call it competition. I mean, but let's just say when you're up against someone else who does the same thing that you do, and that customer or that client has to make a choice between you and someone else, be so invaluable that they can't find a you anywhere else. Look at what everybody else is doing, but more importantly, look at what everybody else isn't doing. Look at what they're offering. Look at what they aren't offering. Fill that gap. Fill that gap and be the one that offers that one more thing. Be the person that does something that nobody else is doing. And sometimes it's something small. Sometimes it's something free. Sometimes it's something that takes 2 more minutes just for you to stand out amongst everyone else. I'm telling you, a lot of times it's not as hard as you may think it is to stand out. It's not as difficult as you may think it is to be perceived as more valuable just because of something that you added to your service that nobody else does. So think about that. Next, create a system or some type of system that keeps clients coming back to you. I go more into this in my new membership, Single Mom to Self-Made. It has not launched yet, and if you would like to go on the wait list, then I will have that below. However, I go more into all of this there, but you have to create a system that works for you, that keeps clients coming back to you on a regular basis. There are ways that make it more likely that a client will come back to you. There are ways to even kind of cherry pick and only deal with the clients that you want to come back to you, because let's be honest, we don't always want to work with everybody we've worked with before. So create a system that guarantees or at least increases the chance of past clients coming back to you. Next, I want you to repeat this until your side hustle completely replaces your 9-to-5 income. Again, I go into detail on how to do this in my Single Mom to Self-Made membership. So if you want more detail, you want more help, you want more questions answered directly from me, you can sign up for the wait list so that when the time to join is there, you can, and I'd be happy to work with you. Also, I have a new Facebook group called Single Moms Boss Up 2. I'm going to put the link below for that as well if you would like to join. It is brand new, and I will be letting you guys in groups because I'm also getting single moms into that group in other ways as well. And I look forward to connecting with you guys in there as well. And also, I have a free resource below that also tells you how to turn your side hustle into a full-time income. And if you're interested in that, you can download that as well. Love y'all.
Can't behave with you. Act offended, still pretending I don't wanna do this, but I do. Always breaking character with you.